We're here today to meet with Kimberley and Alvin, who are representing UAP in the upcoming federal election. We've just had a state, now we've got a federal. We love elections. And Alvin, you're with Spence, is that right?
That's correct.
And
yes.
Kimberley, Macon.
Absolutely.
That's the
Yep.
northern suburbs of Adelaide, right?
Yes.
You've got it
Yep.
covered. You've got
Got
it
it
mapped.
covered, yeah.
Got it mapped, yes.
Okay, so you're both representing UAP.
Yes.
And you're both first-time candidates, and you're both slightly crazy.
I guess a lot of people say we'd have to be to get out into politics.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a call, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
To wake up one day and go, I'll do this. I'll run in for office. Kimberley, what happened?
Absolutely, yeah. Well,
Was there a moment, or did you sort of just ease into it?
I think the last sort of few years, working within the community, helping people move forward professionally as my role, I was seeing a lot of people sort of disheartened with what was going on, and I sort of thought
It's been a pretty dense 2 years.
a lot of people were reaching out to myself and to others, and also local members, and weren't sort of getting answers. Right. And I sort of felt I saw a few people within Parliament speaking out, and I thought that inspired me, and I thought I have to do something.
Because you're a mum.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So
Mum
you've
of
got
a
a busy
little girl.
life. It's
Yes.
not like you didn't have anything to do. So
Yes, absolutely. And so that's another thing, our children's, thinking about our children's future.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So you guys are different ages, and Alvin, you're towards the end of your career.
Yes, I was actually looking forward to retiring, but it doesn't look like it's happening
It's
now.
not happening now.
And it's like everything else. I didn't like what I saw. It's not the Australia I grew up in these last couple of years. Being armchair umpires like we often are.
Yep.
I was sitting in my lounge room, my mates around me one day, and I said, well, why don't you get up and do something
So I
about
called your bluff and said, get on the park and run.
it? Here I am.
Okay. And you're running. You have 2
I am,
weeks
yes.
to go, right?
It is, yeah.
So
and
it's a pretty intense time for both of you.
It is. It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And look, we're not politicians. I'm not a politician. I'm an ordinary Australian.
Yeah.
In my life, I didn't realise
But I
I'd
think
be
that's
doing
what
this.
people want, Alvin. I think they're sick of the political class.
Yes.
This disingenuous, controlling political class who knows what's best for us, but don't really want to listen. Did you approach politicians and get any response?
no, I did approach politicians, and I didn't get a lot of response. There was a lot of sort of conversations, and at some points they agreed with me, but it seemed that they weren't really willing to push back. And that's one thing with me: when I know something's not right, I'll push back. I'm persistent. When I know something, I don't just take no for an answer. If I really know that's not the right thing, I'll keep pushing forward. Okay. And that's what I wanted to do.
Determination there.
Absolutely.
So we want authentic.
Yes.
I'm talking for myself, but also for the people that I have been, discussing this current topic of where's our country going?
Where's our country going?
We want authentic,
Yes.
we want integrity, and we want some people who are determined, who will actually not take no for an answer and go and find out and fight for us.
Well, that's the decision
Absolutely.
I made. That's why I'm here. I mean, with my family heritage in this state for 140 years, relatives died in war for this. My father served in World War II. Here I am. It's my chance. It's the last chance to give us our freedoms back.
So you got a real connection with the state, 140 years?
Yes, I have.
Wow,
Yes.
that's incredible.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'm proud of that heritage.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of what my family have done. And this is my opportunity now to stand up and say, let's get Australia back to where we should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important we have more conversations. It feels like politics is sort of just veering in one direction, and it feels like a lot of people haven't been able to sort of have their voices heard, or there's not been any real roundtable discussions with differing opinions to actually work out where to go. It's just sort of, hey, now we feel like a little bit we've got to turn the ship around.
Yeah, and you sound like someone who cares, empathy, compassion. That's your professional background.
Absolutely,
So
yes.
take that in. That'd be nice to see. That in politics.
That's what I feel like I can bring. I sort of think maybe I can revolutionise politics and make it compassionate and caring.
It would be a revolution. Bring that.
Well, I've been in public service all my life as well. So at the end of the day, if they want an ordinary Australian, you've got two sitting right here, standing up, ready to do something.
Well, we want that authenticity. We want the determination. We want the passion that you touched on before. and not just, you know, some two more people joining the feeding trough, you know. So,
and that's the battle ahead to get us back to where we need to be, where the Australia I grew up in is what I see the next generations to get.
It has been under some threat.
It has been.
For 2 or so years. I mean,
Absolutely.
people are feeling very disillusioned and very disenfranchised, and perhaps even so from the political process, and saying, well, how does that help us?
It's quite concerning to see it, because it's not the Australia I grew up in. You know, I mean, your international sort of reputation was sun and surf, and you know, having Christmas Day on the beach as a picnic.
But that lucky country thing, that complacency that's imbued our culture, has actually caused us to, it's a disservice really, because we've become
a bit empathetic.
A bit lazy, if you like, politically lazy. Now we're having to engage,
I know.
which is what you're doing.
And that's what I was also going to say as well. I have found though that with this last few years, it has actually, even though we don't see it mainstream, I feel like a lot of people have actually become a lot more politically engaged and a lot more interested than they have ever been before. I've got people, like we've got members that have never been part of a political party. I was never part of anything like this before, and sometimes I wouldn't know till the day of voting, and now we're really engaged with the process.
Yes, it's eyes wide open for sure what's been going on.
So it's being alert, getting some knowledge, knowing what you can do with your preferences and all that stuff that people are now, they are engaging with it. I agree, because we realise this is not a rehearsal.
Well, freedom is precious. Any freedom is
Absolutely.
precious. I mean, we see restrictions on people's thoughts and even on faith. You know, Christianity. People are afraid to say I'm a Christian. Why? Any faith is, if you're of that faith, you should be able to do what you need to do.
There's a lot of groupthink going on. There's media conditioning towards that.
Yes.
So our individual identity and our corporate identity, our national identity, is something that gets shaped by other forces.
Yes.
And then we start to pass that over to somebody else. And this is what I think you were touching on before, is that, you know, this incursion of government and this sort of freedoms that we're losing. It's freedom of what? Speech. You know,
freedom of speech.
Well,
freedom of choice in the medical.
It's totally. It to me, it feels like the government just want to control every aspect of your life. That's where it's leading to.
So is UAP about less government?
Yes,
absolutely.
It's light hands on the reins. Is that?
Yes, let's get Australia back to how we always were. Our value system that it was.
So free enterprise.
Freedom of
information.
Yes, let's get Australia back up and doing some industry of our own. Let's get our money back from overseas back to here. You know, let's get Australia back on top where we should be.
Well, I'm not that familiar with the specific policies. What we'll do is we'll put those, reference those on screen and put the website up. So is there one policy, Kimberley, that, you know, that really resonates with you, that's kind of close to heart?
One that's resonated well with me, and that's from over the last 2 years, and that one of our policies is the sanctity of the doctor-patient relationship. So doctors being able to sort of have their medical files and their treatment with their patients as the professional. That
So
we've sort of we've seen an overreach in many areas.
Yes.
No.
Just a little.
And this is what people have sort of come to me and said. They've said that, you know, I had somebody call me the other day and he sort of had quite a few issues that he brought up. But at the end he said, look, I just want to be left alone to live my life. I want my grandkids to grow up in a culture where they can actually be free to do things without whatever's, you know, everything that's been going on the last few years, to summarise it.
Let's get our freedoms back, our rights back, and let's just get back to being who we are.
Yeah, and a bit of cultural pride.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we are a multicultural country. We've always been a multicultural country. Let's get ourselves back on track and make sure that the life we live, we can enjoy.
This is a calling. This is a mission, as you say.
It is a calling.
And it's going to take a bit of energy and a bit of effort, but it's worth it. That's what you're saying. And there are other people, you know, there are a lot of that's the encouraging thing. There are a lot of independents and minor parties who are stepping forward. It's a bit of a fruit salad, but you know, people are alert to that, and they're looking at preferences, and they're thinking about how valuable their vote is for the reasons you were talking about, Alvin.
Yes.
And we're getting more engaged, as you say,
Absolutely.
which is really, I mean, I think that's only good for the country, regardless of who wins the seats.
Exactly.
We're more aware of and alert to.
And that's what I said. I said, I just want to throw my hat in the ring. And on that journey, we've met amazing people.
Yes, we have.
We've had amazing conversations. We're bringing an awareness and an energy to a compassion to a space that needs it.
Yeah.
And to a subject that a lot of people sort of, oh, I've got to vote again. But now they can actually think about
Absolutely.
what and how they're going to make this country
Yes.
work. And the good thing about it is it's their choice. No one can tell them
Yeah.
what to do or how to do it.
Yep.
They've got the ballot in front of them. They're allowed to put down who they want, where they want. And that's a fantastic freedom to have.
And the point you just made, Kimberley, is that, you're out there having the conversations, you guys, and the next,
Yes.
and have been and will be. And I think that's the core issue for me. We're having the conversation. We're having one today.
Yes.
You're having it with your constituents and with other parties, allies and supporters.
Absolutely.
And
Exactly.
whatever. And we're talking about the things that are going to be important, that are important now, and certainly, Alvin, as you say, going forward.
Yes.
Because if we get this wrong, this is not a rehearsal.
It's our last hope. If this is our last bastion of getting any kind of reasonable situation sorted where we know that we can live happily
Yeah.
and be able to be Australians again.
Well, you're bringing passion and drive and
Down to earth,
determination,
approachable,
down to earth.
and people can pick up the phone and give it. Once some people have said, "Oh wow, I've never actually spoken to any politician. I've never gotten through," and I said, "Well, you can just pick up the phone and talk to me because that's what I'm here for." So,
And I think that's how we want to build it. And
Yeah,
we want to keep
absolutely.
that open. That's something that has been lacking.
Well, that's good, and a bit of wisdom and experience with you, Alvin.
Thank you.
Different age groups, and I think that should resonate with people.
Yes.
We're not telling people how to vote or who
No.
to vote for.
No.
But people need to understand who's out there and who's coming forward and standing up. So that was the reason for talking with you guys today. Like, who are you? Why are you doing
to
this?
know.
And do you have integrity? Are you authentic? And it seems to me that you are. You're doing it for the right reasons, not for some sort of career kind of thing. It's because you want to actually make a difference.
I think
it-
authenticity is really
it is.
important. We're at a point where we're really sick of seeing people towing the line. We're sick of seeing just the same old, just for the sake of just ticking a box and then hide it. People want conversation. They want to be heard.
Exactly. If there's one thing I can add to that too, is that don't listen to the gossip. Don't look at the silliness going out there. If you're really interested in a party, doesn't matter who it is, do some research of your own. You don't have to be, pushed into a corner. Have your own choice. Make it your decision.
Well, you're carrying the yellow flag for
We
this
are.
federal election. Good on you.
We are.
And we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if nothing else, even if you weren't successful in winning the seat, you've made a stand and you're making a difference with a contribution.
Absolutely.
Yes, I have.
And sparking those conversations. And that's what this country needs to do. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
Good on you, and
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
That's great. Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
us.
your
That's
time.
great.